Welcome to Investology, the channel where we delve deep into critical topics that impact investments and economics. Today, we're taking a unique journey into the heart of Japan's history, its isolation, and its evolving immigration policies. This is not only a fascinating transformation for Japan, but also an essential topic for investors worldwide. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to Investology to stay informed about the latest economic trends and investment opportunities. For most of its history, Japan was renowned as one of the world's most isolated countries. Geography, language, and culture made it unique and almost impenetrable. Preserving its traditions and way of life for thousands of years was made possible by its strict anti-immigration policies, which set it apart from the rest of the world. Japan had almost zero immigration, and the number of foreigners permanently living in the country was negligible. To understand why Japan chose such an isolated path, we must go back to the early 1600s. The world was in the midst of globalization, with European nations expanding their empires and venturing further into Asia. Japan, however, had a different perspective. In 1633, Japan initiated a groundbreaking policy known as Sakoku, which remained in place for over 250 years. Under Sakoku, Japan severed relations with Western countries, strictly limited interactions with neighbors like China and Korea, and expelled all foreign traders. The impact of this isolationist era remains a subject of debate in Japan. It's often viewed as a golden era during which Japan enjoyed 2.5 centuries of stability, prosperity, and peace. While much of the world grappled with colonization and conflicts, Japan thrived, dedicating its time to art and pleasure. This period gave rise to the concept of Japan as a floating world, distinct from the turbulence and hardship experienced elsewhere. The end of Japan's Sakoku policy in the 19th century was not voluntary. It came as the result of external pressures. The catalyst for Japan's opening to foreign trade was the United States Navy, and it was a momentous turning point in Japan's history. In 1853, Commodore Matthew Perry of the United States Navy led a fleet of 4 warships into Japan's Edo Bay, near present-day Tokyo. Perry's mission was to establish diplomatic and trade relations with Japan. The Ministry of Health revealed numbers last year showing that the number of births registered in Japan fell to yet another record low in 2022. This is a concerning development, as the country's authorities have been unable to stop the free fall that has been occurring for decades, despite their best efforts. In 2022, the nation saw a record low 800,000 births, and a record high of more than 1.58 million deaths. In the last 40 years, Japan has truly seen its birth rate cut in half. While in 1982, the country registered over 1.5 million births, more than twice the number of deaths in the same year. Since then, this ratio has flipped. In response to its population and economic issues, Japan began quietly reversing its decades-old immigration policies. Since 2013, Japan started welcoming hundreds of thousands of immigrants, significantly increasing the number of foreign workers. A historic immigration reform allowed highly skilled foreign workers to stay indefinitely, and these changes have been expanding almost every year. The result is that Japan, once seen as closed off and homogeneous, is becoming more diverse and multicultural, especially in its major cities. Japan's population crisis and economic challenges have prompted these necessary changes. Surprisingly, there hasn't been a significant populist backlash against this transformation. Nearly 70% of Japanese people support the influx of immigrants, recognizing the vital role they play in addressing the country's problems. As Japan continues to adapt to these changes, it is entering a new chapter in its history. The homogeneous image of Japan is evolving as it becomes more diverse and cosmopolitan, similar to the transformations experienced by Western countries in recent decades. Japan is on a journey to shape a new and more diverse identity, a transformation that will change Japan forever. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Japan's evolving immigration policies and the impact they will have on the nation's future. As investors, Understanding these dynamics is crucial. Don't forget to subscribe to Investology for more in-depth insights into the world of economics and investing. Stay tuned for our next episode as we continue to unravel the complexities of the global economy.